We're now going to learn the fourth Mishna of the first chapter of Pirkei Avot, Ethics of Our Fathers, which can be found in the most recent edition of the Authorized Daily Prayer Book, known as the Green Siddur, on page 524. Just before we delve into the wording itself, a little background to the Mishnah. We have something new. We come across a new era here in Jewish history. Up until now, there's always been one leader of the Jewish community. Here we begin what's known as the period in the era of the pairs, whereby there were two leaders of the Jewish community. One was the Nasi and one was the Avot. So the Nasi was the head of the Sanhedrin, and the Avot, as the name suggests, was the head of the Beit Din. They had very different roles, and each had their own distinct, unique role, but they worked together as the leaders of the Jewish community. And so here we have, after learning about Antignos, some teachings of Antignos ish Socha in the previous Mishnah, the third Mishnah, here in Mishnah 4 we come across two individuals, and we'll learn about them through the Mishnah itself. So let's work through the Mishnah. Yossi ben Yoezer ish Tzereda, Yossi ben Yochanan ish Yerushalayim, Kiblu Mehem. Yossi ben Yoezer was the man of Tzereda, a place called Tzereda, and he was the Nasi, he was the head of the Sanhedrin. And Yossi ben Yochanan, who is known as Ish Yerushalayim, man Yerushalayim, he was the Avot. And they received, meaning they started from Antignos ish Socha, who was in the previous generation, and it shows the continuation of the tradition being handed down person to person. And this is what they shared as ethics. This is what Yossi ben Yoezer shares. Yossi ben Yoezer says as follows: Yehi beischa beisvad lachachamim. Your house should be a meeting place for the sages. And this is encouraging them to try and have and be surrounded by sages. So the sages would need somewhere to gather, to discuss, to meet. They didn't have the conferencing opportunities that maybe we have today, or even in the community spaces, they didn't have the spaces that we have today. So they needed somewhere to gather, and so he's encouraging them, make your house be somewhere where they feel comfortable gathering. But the reason mainly is so that you can learn and absorb from being surrounded and being within the environment of the rabbis. As one of the classic commentaries to the Mishnah of Avadia Bar Tanura, known as the Bar Tanura, he gives the analogy of somebody who walks into a shop that sells perfumes is going to come out smelling nice. Same thing with the rabbis. If you're surrounded by the rabbis, hopefully you'll learn from their way. And he says, you should also, generally loosely translated as sit amidst the dust of their feet, meaning sit at their feet and study from them, learn from them. And and drink in their words with thirst, meaning like a thirsty person really wants to know and wants to drink, so too you too should in a similar way absorb, in a humble way, but absorb and drink in that which they teach to make it in part of you, absolutely part and parcel of you.